Hi everyone, it's MJ, the fellow actuary, and in this video I want to talk about the coronavirus and the effect that it's having on artificial intelligence. It's something that we've discussed quite a bit on this channel, is whether AI will ever replace actuaries. And we've kind of always said that it's not a matter of if, but a matter of when. And some of us thought it was going to be in the next couple of years, but after this corona pandemic, I'm actually expecting that to be kicked way, way, way into the future. We might only see AI replacing actuaries in maybe 10, 20, even longer, 30 years from now. And the reason why I'm saying this is because this coronavirus has caught a lot of the machine learning algorithms by surprise. Remember, these things work on historical data. They look for patterns and see what's happened in the past, and they use that to predict what's going to happen in the future. And normally, if you have a good understanding of the past, you can have an understanding of the future. But every now and again, we see these extreme events that hit our system, hit our reality, and they basically change our world. And the robo advisors and the algorithms that do recommendations and all these other things that we've almost become to rely on, kind of behind the interfaces that we work with, are struggling to make sense of this pandemic. Because remember, machine just looks at the data. One day everything's fine. The next day there's this panic, things are going haywire. You can imagine something that tracks items sold in a store. Pandemic happens, people's buying behavior changes drastically, and these poor formulas that companies rely on to either do restocks or to recommend other products to other clients, and there's a whole bunch of things that they do, it goes into a complete tailspin and it gets completely confused. Now, with those things, I mean, it's not too much of an issue. A human can step in, intervene, and make the relevant changes. But this is why I don't think AI is going to be replacing, say, people like actuaries, accountants, or even lawyers, because we need these actuaries or accountants and these other professionals to provide oversight on some very important things. So actuaries, we kind of oversee the reserves held by massive insurance companies, how much capital banks need to hold, and so forth. Now, yes, you could automate that with a machine that says, okay, based on these rules, based on the amount of policies you've issued, and based on these economic factors, this is how much you should hold. I mean, it's not that difficult to write that code and to automate it. Where it does become very difficult is to try and train that AI to respond to a pandemic such as the coronavirus, where the world goes into lockdown and then suddenly, regulations have to say, okay, hold on. We need to rethink a whole bunch of things. And this is where you need the creativity of a human being to come in and try and assist and make decisions. And what humans do is when there's a bit of a crisis, we kind of meet, we have a debate. There tends to be the conservative approach, the reform approach, and once it goes back and forth, we're able to find consensus and we're able to move forward. An AI is not sophisticated enough at the moment to be able to do that. Instead, it's still relying on the past to make its predictions about the future. And just a few let's say coronavirus hits and there's a few downward spikes, it's still balancing the bulk of the historical data, and it's going to give that more weight than the current data. And it's going to take time for it to learn the new situation before it can respond. Whereas a human can say, okay, look, this coronavirus is bad. We need to change things ASAP, and it's able to do it a lot quicker. So this is one of the things that we're seeing AI is struggling with. I mean, imagine if you had to go to a robo-advisor right now that was based on historical data from 2019 and back to 2010. That robo-advisor is probably giving the worst financial advice that you could possibly imagine. So it's important to understand that AI has limitations. And who knows, maybe this coronavirus is going to cause a lot of engineers to rethink how they design AI. And we might actually see even more powerful AIs coming up that maybe take in more historical data, maybe go all the way back to, say, the Great Depression, and maybe can, have a little bit of robustness so that it can handle future spikes if they do occur. So we could see AI strengthening, but what we are seeing right now is that there are limitations to AI, and therefore when it becomes to really important things such as financial regulations, there's still going to be a human that needs to oversee the final decisions. And then what I think is also going to happen is you got to remember how these professions work. These professions, they kind of see an AI come in, and this thing could potentially take away their job. So essentially, your accounting bodies, your actuarial bodies aren't going to be too quick to say, hey, this machine can do what I've studied my whole life to do. And with coronavirus and these extreme events, these professions can now justify why we shouldn't allow these artificial intelligence to take the role of these professions. So yes, the AI might get better, but the reasonings for not allowing them to take over the human roles is strengthening. And I think that's going to be the main reason why we're going to see a massive delay before an AI is helping a regulator decide what solvency ratios and all these other things should be for various financial firms. Anyway, those are just my thoughts. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments section below. And yeah, I hope you guys are keeping safe during this crazy time. Cheers.